It's hard to believe we get a Steph versus LeBron matchup so early in the playoffs this season, but these two just can't seem to stay away from each other. And in a one-game playoff, anything can happen, and probably will. So let's take a look at the keys to this game and who gets to play the Phoenix Suns as the 7th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. The biggest key for the Warriors, of course, is Steph Curry. For them to win, he's going to need to score a lot of points, at least 40, and the Warriors as a whole are going to need to make more threes than the Lakers. That shouldn't be that hard, seeing as though the Warriors rank 5th in three-point frequency, while the Lakers are 22nd. Even more of an Achilles heel is the Lakers are 21st in three-point percentage this year. And in a pseudo do-or-die game, remember, the loser gets to play the winner of the Grizzlies-Spurs game for the 8th seed. If one team gets hot from the arc and the other can't keep up, that could very well be the ball game. I did a deep dive into how the Warriors structure their offense around Steph, charting 3 games worth of possessions and comparing what happens when Steph brings the ball up the court on the dribble versus when he starts off the ball. The offense functions very differently depending on where Curry starts, and I think the stats reveal something interesting. Overall, they're more efficient when he's off the ball, which makes sense since these are the plays that open up easier shots for teammates when the defense runs to Curry off of screens, or turns their focus so intently on where Curry is moving, they lose track of their own man, and guys like Draymond Green are experts in making great passes for easy scoring opportunities. The Lakers will rely on Dennis Schroeder to guard him, and I don't think this will go that well, as Dennis isn't the best defender navigating his way around so many screens, especially with such a clever mover like Curry. There is enough evidence from this season where he can't keep up with his man around a maze of screens that I think the Warriors will definitely focus on getting Curry off ball when they see Schroeder guarding him, and it will be up to his Laker teammates to properly jump out and help to prevent open shots from Curry himself. Almost every pick and roll they run with Curry on the floor happens after he brings the ball up across half court on the dribble. This knowledge would definitely be useful to the Lakers defense since they can recognize this early and get into proper position to stop him. But they need to be even more concerned with Curry pulling from just inside the half court line, as he's been getting bolder and bolder on these types of shots as the season wore on. So if they're not picking him up before the half-court line, they're going to get burned from way downtown. The Lakers didn't blast Curry with double teams during the regular season, which I found interesting since the Warriors don't have many other creators off the dribble. So if they want to drop and contain, or just switch these, it puts an awful lot of pressure on all 5 defenders to be in the right position, but also you're going to be in situations where you just hope he misses. On the other side of the ball, Wiggins will get the LeBron assignment, and there is some evidence that LeBron isn't interested in forcing the issue against him, preferring to have a ball screen set so he can attack a weaker defender. This will be a very interesting matchup because Wiggins seems to bring enough length and strength to dissuade LeBron from doing too much backing down. And Wiggins will pick LeBron up in the backcourt in an effort to wear him down a little bit. If he can keep LeBron more perimeter-oriented and non-aggressive with his shots, it will keep the Warriors in the game with a legit shot at winning. But this is the playoffs, so much of what we saw in the regular season while LeBron was cruising can be thrown out the window. Expect a ton of ball screens by Looney's man and probably Curry's man as well, with hopes that a switch happens and he can go to work with either a quickness advantage or a size advantage. I suspect this game comes down to an unsung hero for the Warriors. Wiggins will have his hands full guarding LeBron, so I'd imagine asking him to come through offensively with a big night is a tall order. That leaves someone like Kent Bazemore needing to step up and hit some shots. He'll get his share of open threes, and he's going to have to hit them. But there's plenty of inconsistency to his game, so I think they're going to have to get it from either Juan Toscano-Anderson or Jordan Poole. JTA is very active on both sides of the floor, and they're going to need him to make a number of defensive plays to counter the size advantage of the Lakers. Plus, he's a very underrated playmaker. He'll have to make plays like these a number of times to ensure some of the pressure is taken off of Curry to score every time down. Poole has recently emerged as a bona fide third scorer for them, and if the Warriors want a shot at winning, he'll need to hit a couple of threes at least to open up the floor and force the defense to respect him and his game. The Lakers are on a 5-game winning streak, which is a welcome sight considering how inconsistent they were for the 20 games before that due to LeBron and AD's injuries. If either of these two has an off night, they probably don't win, considering the advantage the Warriors have from behind the three-point line. Here's an interesting stat. When the Lakers get outscored by 3 or more three-pointers, their record is 9-17. And that makes sense. In the modern NBA, you'll have a hard time winning a game by giving up that big of a deficit from behind the arc. For more context, of those 26 games, LeBron played in 18 of them, and the Lakers' record was only 7-11. In the Lakers' favor is their three-point defense, where they're ranked 9th in lowest opponent three-point frequency and 4th lowest in opponent three-point percentage. When the Lakers are cooking, they'll control the pace, where they ranked a pretty slow 21st in the league compared to the 3rd-ranked Warriors, who are going to want to push it every chance they get. I'm fairly certain Andre Drummond will get played right off the court with his defensive issues and effort. We already know what we're getting from Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma, so I suspect someone like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope can help decide the outcome of this game with a good showing. He's been stroking it from downtown all season long, and with the attention AD and LeBron get near the basket, expect him to get some good looks that he'll have to knock down to keep up with the Warriors snipers. Whenever anybody picks against LeBron, they tend to get burned almost every time. So I'm weary to say the Warriors are going to win the play-in game. But there is a little less pressure on them knowing if they lose, they're still in it for one more game, and that might be just what they need to knock down a couple of more threes. If they outscore the Lakers by several triples and Curry goes off for a huge scoring night, the Warriors win. But if the Lakers control the tempo with plenty of successful post-up attempts by Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and their regulars show up, then the Lakers will take that 7th seed and begin preparing for the Phoenix Suns.